Skill is something that comes second nature. Wisdom is it's something that comes by like it's natural. So for instance, when you're learning a new language, you try to associate it with the natural language that you know. Meaning, the meaning is attached to the language, and you're trying to attach the language to the other language when you should be associating the second language to the meaning instead of saying, so it's like I look at object, I look at, tree, I look at dog, I should see dog as perro and dog, right? Like I associate it instantly as perro, as dog, is like as the thing that in which it is described. Those are the meanings, right? So it takes a lot of mental energy, right? So the whole point is the memory of you looking at something and defining it should become second nature. So when you're in sales, that's why they tell you to commit the sales script to memory, because what has gone into that is usually if it's a good sales team, they've already found a sales thing that works for their system. So you commit that to memory, and then when you get to the next threshold, you've got that to memory that you can start to play around with it. You've already set that into the skill, and the skill is all of those things, and then you start to work on, cadence and undulation and all the fun stuff. Like, okay, let me try to reframe these words and see if that works. Like, do a little test beta analysis, bring it to the crowd. Hey, I found that when I replace this word with this way, or if I enunciated and slowed down the pace, then it found better results. So, committing it to memory and the subconscious is a way, and that's why probably habits are like, so vital is, so when you're in that environment, how do I act? Okay, I'm acting with skill, right? With wisdom, applied knowledge. And that is when you know that you're skillful, is when you're like, okay, I grasp it and I'm doing it, right? Like I'm not really, like I can start to do this like numbingly without, anything. So like for instance with the animation like stuff is like the 12 principles of animation, those are tactics that I'm attaching to my skill, obviously. And then so it's like I know that like the compression, the reaction, kind of those laws are in the midst of my thing. And how do you commit these things to skill is committing them to memory, to focus on them, to understand them, and to apply them. Because that, when you do it with your hands, when you say it with your mouth, when it is out there, then you will understand. That is how you get it into program your body, right? When you are you programming your body, right? So it's just human programming, which is also known as, I think it's it could be psychology and sociology. It's just a lot. It's the memory, the brain. I think it's psychology, right? So, and if you understand human psychology and how you can program the brain, then you will do it, right? So that is what I learned about skill. That's what I thought about skill. Is associating it with meaning. Attach it to the root, or attach it to the anchor, instead of attaching it to the thing. So it's like if you look at it like a boat, the boat is attached to an anchor, okay? And if you look at you can look at it, it's like that is a 1-to-1 ratio. And if you try to learn Spanish, it's like having a life circle thing, life raft attached to the boat, which is attached to the anchor. And then obviously it's like that's going to just get whipped around and you're not going to really understand. But then if you could just take the analogy, okay, my anchor is now my dock. Okay, I'm docking, and now I can put 1,000 boats onto my dock, right? Instead, because if I say anchor and you anchor 2 boats, then you'll probably collide, and maybe that's it, because then you're colliding the boats. And so I'm trying to build my analogy while I say my analogy so that I can further say it better later. So, boom.